How's it going, Gang Bros Nation? Hope you are all having a wonderful day. You know that, yeah, I'm not very good at this podcast stuff, so I'm gonna have to practice. But you already know who I am, your podcast host, Anthony Soros, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about tea. Not the letter T in the alphabet, but the beverage. I've been really enjoying tea lately and thought why not share it with you guys. If you like tea, I'd like to discuss it with you and hear what kind of teas you guys enjoy. And I figured I could give a little primer on tea for those of you who don't know much about tea. Let me just take a little sip of tea to get my head straight. Alright, so I've been into tea. I first got into tea around my first year and leading up to my first year of college. I don't entirely remember why. I think it had something to do with Tim Ferriss or something or another. And I just thought tea was really cool and that I could get a caffeine kick. And what really interested me about tea was that there were so many different varieties, kind of like wine, like red wine, for example. There's many different types of red wine. There's Pinot Noir, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon. There's all types of wine, and like wine, tea kind of parallels in that there's many different flavor profiles and many different types of tea. And a fun fact, all types of tea, well, not all types of tea, but black tea, white tea, green tea, oolong tea, pu-erh tea, they all come from the same plant, which is Camellia sinensis. I think I said that right, hopefully. And they harvest these tea plants, which is the Camellia sinensis, and they prepare it differently to get to the different types of tea. You can check out www.teasource.com and go check around there if you want to read up a bit more of it. But yeah, I just thought I would talk a little bit about tea and what kind of tea I've been drinking lately and why I enjoy tea. And yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, my podcast is fairly unstructured at this point, but I'm kind of riffing it and just going for it because why not? I can't get better if I don't do it, right? So anyway, right now I am drinking a mixture of pu-erh tea, which is an aged black tea from China, and it's been prized for its medicinal properties and earthy flavors. I really enjoy this pu-erh tea. I can't say that I have had pu-erh tea in the past, but it's quickly rising to be one of my favorite teas. The other type of tea I'm drinking in this mixture is a sencha green tea, and green tea is allowed to wither only slightly and after it's picked. And then there's an oxidation process that's stopped very quickly by firing rapid heat at the leaves, and therefore when you're brewing green tea it tends to be a bit of a lower temperature when you're brewing it, as opposed to black tea, which you can use at about boiling temperature. Green tea is a little more sensitive and requires slightly under boiling temperature to produce a good flavor with it. There's also an oolong tea, which is it undergoes partial oxidation, and they have kind of a content of caffeine between black and green tea. Black tea has pretty high caffeine levels, where green tea is somewhat lower than that, and oolong is in between those two. But the thing I like about oolong is that you can steep the leaves multiple times with without ill effects, sorry, and still get a good cup of tea even after your like fourth or fifth brew. So when I have had oolong, I have enjoyed doing multiple steeps and kind of tasting the differences between them. There's also white tea, which is more of a delicate kind of tea. Like green tea, it requires a little bit lower a boiling or of a brewing temperature than black tea. Um, they are kind of the youngest processed leaves of the plant, and they don't go through any oxidation. And when you brew them, they're kind of, like I said, brewed at a low temperature with kind of a short period of time. And those are basically the main types of tea. The pu-erh tea I had mentioned, it's kind of the only tea that is actually aged. I think I did briefly mention that, but I find that kind of interesting that kind of like wine, they can improve flavors over time. And I've really been enjoying this pu-erh mixed with sencha green tea mix. I will kind of use a digital thermometer to test the water, and I'll get it at about 185 degrees Fahrenheit, and from there I'll pour the water over the tea and steep it for about 3 minutes, and it's really quite good. For me, it's replaced my morning coffee. I really enjoy drinking my tea. I look forward to it, and I don't feel as strung out when I drink tea. It overall feels like a good substitute. I mean, I still enjoy coffee, but tea is always a good drink to supplement every now and then, and just to enjoy as well on top of coffee. That's all I really wanted to say to you guys. As you can tell, the podcast still is in a little bit of a working stage, but hopefully one day we can keep getting it better and better. And I'd always love to hear your feedback on what you thought I did good or what you thought I did bad, what you think maybe I could do to improve, or even if you have ideas that you want to hear me talk about. I really like the podcast, and I think I'm going to head in that direction because I like to talk, I like to explore things, and I like to share exploration with others. So that, and I don't have to show my ugly face, so I really like the podcast idea. But that is all I wanted to say, guys. I do have to film another video today because I was out yesterday and had totally had to change my plans. So moral of the story, don't be scared to be spontaneous at times and change up your plans because it's often worth it unless you're just slacking off. If you had a good productive day planned and kind of spontaneously decided to not do anything that day, that perhaps might not be the best substitution. But if you're hanging out with friends or doing something social, as long as you're not doing it for too long or you're not getting too destructive with substances, then I think it's a good time. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you like the video, make sure to click the like button. It really does help me out. And if you want to hear more of my stuff, make sure to subscribe. If not, then I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Take care.